Hello there everybody, and welcome back to Tree of Tranquility. It's been about 6 days since the last video, and it's truthfully been a while since I've picked this up and played it and did a recording, so I had to go back to see what we were doing last time. And I think at this point in the story we're more or less just sort of in limbo. We're kind of waiting for our neighbors to move in. We have a festival coming up, and we've made some good leeway on getting some other ingredients for rainbows set up, and we're kind of just waiting. So I thought I would do a little bit of an update before our festival. There's a few little things I think that we could do today. The first of which is I'm going to go ahead and let my animals out since it's a nice day. You can see that we still have a lamb. Unfortunately, we do not, as of yet, have a grown-up sheep, but it is going to take about half a season, so we just have to be patient. I haven't bought any new animals or anything like that, but that's going to change soon. I do have plans for that. I've been trying to carry around my sickle in my bag as a good habit so that I can take care of these weeds and stuff as soon as I see them. I had a couple of rows of flowers come in, so I harvested those, but you can see that I've kept the red flowers even after they've bloomed, and the reason you want to do that is because you'll see that once flowers are in full bloom, sometimes you'll see a bee buzzing around it, and when that happens, you can go to harvest that flower, and rather than the bee, what you will get is you will get a piece of honey, and the honey varies depending on the color of the flower. And we're very lucky because this is actually the exact ingredient that we need for one of our rainbows. We need red honey, so a relatively easy ingredient to get. You just plant any red flower and wait patiently for bees to fly by it, and hopefully you'll get red honey. It is random, sometimes you'll get other stuff. But as I mentioned, there are red flowers in practically every single season, so we don't really have any rush on that. I'm also going to pick all of the cosmos and ship them with the exception of one, because the other thing that we can do with red flowers is we can use it to dye our balls of yarn, and we're going to need to do that soon. So we're waiting for our lamb to grow up into a sheep. Once the lamb grows up, we can shear the sheep, and then we can use our nice yarn maker to turn that wool into yarn. And the red yarn is another ingredient that we need for another rainbow. Now my field looks pretty barren, so I'm probably going to go to Souffle Farm and stock up and replant some stuff. You can also see here that the first bit of yams and eggplants are starting to come in. And again, we need both yams and eggplants for rainbow recipes. I already have the baked yam, and so yams for me are basically going to just be used to sell. But it's good to note that baked yams not only are a rainbow ingredient, but they're one of Maya's favorite gifts, who is a marriage candidate. So if you're planning on marrying her, that might be a good idea, because you can only buy baked yams during the spring and summer flea markets, and then the only other way to get yams is in fall. There's other stuff that she likes too, but I thought I would just give anybody a heads up on that. We can choose to save one of these eggplants. I think I'm going to ship the perfect one. I'll keep the good eggplants in my inventory for now, and what we can do is we can roast that eggplant, and that will make another one of our rainbow ingredients. In order to roast food, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to buy matches. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just put some of this stuff away here. Put that flour away for later. And I'm going to take the matches out of my inventory. Now, matches can be bought from Simon at the general store, I think for about $600. And you get multi-uses out of them. It's not like you buy them for $600 and use them once. So I'm gonna put the item I want roasted in my inventory, and I'm also going to put the matches in my inventory. And using any campfire that you can find, usually on the beaches, what you would do is you would go up to the campfire with your matches in hand. You would light it, and then you would take the food you wanted and use it on the fire. And it's only going to do one at a time, which is nice, so I should still be able to ship the other 3 eggplants that I have, and then keep the roasted eggplant for our rainbow. So there we go, we have yet another ingredient for one of our rainbows. You don't have to worry about putting the fires out. I do believe in Animal Parade, you have to put them out or else Hamilton comes to your door and gives you trouble for not extinguishing the fire. But you can see here, if I have my watering can out and I try to interact with the fire, it does nothing. You can also use the fire to grill fish and stuff like that you catch. Some villagers like grilled fish as gifts, but they also at times will increase the value of your fish as well. It's not an overly useful mechanic, but it has some uses, and in our case it's essential in order to help us in making some of our rainbows. And of course, if you need the baked yam, you can use that method to make your baked yam as well. I'm just gonna go the long way around here, and I'm gonna go over to Souffle Farm. I'm gonna buy some more seeds because my field looks very, very lonely at the moment with that pitiful couple of rows of things that I have. So let's get a recap on what it is that Ruth is selling. We already grew spinach, and I plucked the spinach that I need for one of our rainbows. So I could grow spinach again if I wanted to and just sell it all. That's definitely an option. I have eggplant, I have yams, and I do believe that I also went ahead and I also bought some morning glory seeds, which I also went ahead and harvested ahead of time. Now these flowers are expensive and rare. I might think about getting a bag of these further on down the line, but for now, let's mix it up a little bit and grow some stuff that we haven't grown yet. Let's go ahead and grab some pumpkins. We will grow a row of pumpkins. I will go ahead and grow another row of spinach, and we'll try rice. Variety is the spice of life. I know the rice can be used in a lot of different cooking recipes, but I more or less want to grow it just for the sake of completion, to fill up in my library that I've grown or I've come across all the different crops available in the game. And it's still early on, so we have lots of time to grow stuff. Heading on into Waffle Town now. Where I want to go is I want to go to the general store and pick up something else from Simon. Okay. So just to show you guys, you can see here that these are the matches that I bought for $600. But what I am interested in is I actually think it's going to be a good idea for us to buy a mayonnaise maker. We only have one chicken right now, and I do plan on expanding at some point, but the amount of money that we get from eggs is very, very small, and so I think buying a mayonnaise maker is probably going to be a good way to increase our profit by a little bit. And currently we have no use for the butter or the cheese maker because we do not have a cow. that was pretty much all that I really wanted to buy today. I could swing by Brownie Ranch and pick up another animal, but I might do that another day. I'm honestly just feeling very lazy. I should have really just gone there when I was up by Souffle Farm. So we won't worry about that today, and we will just go ahead and plant the stuff that we bought. I'm gonna go ahead and put our spinach in the last row, and the reason for that is because spinach grows faster in poor quality soil, and I do have a couple of squares of poor quality soil here, so better to plant those there than pumpkins or rice, which is probably going to be more profitable. And I've made it a little bit better. If I wanted to, I could also do an additional row, and then that would give me 6 by 6, and then what I could do is I could water it evenly in a 3 by 3 square. It does kind of drive me crazy that I'm only using the watering can to do 2 rows instead of 3. So if I wanted to, maybe I'll go ahead and buy those morning glory seeds, or I'll buy some more crops and maybe slap another row here. If I want to, it's not like I don't have the time to do that. So as you can see now, in the coop we have our mayonnaise maker. So let's go ahead and try it out. Let's pick up our chicken egg, and we can put this right into the maker. I kind of like how it very comically just sort of pops out this mayonnaise for us. And hopefully that's going to bolster our profits a little bit. I still don't think you get as much from chickens as you do from a lot of other animals in the game. I know that wool and yarn is very profitable, and I imagine that butter and cheese and stuff like that would be very profitable as well. So once again, I do apologize. This was more or less another episode of just running around with not a ton of action. But I do think we were pretty successful today, all things considered. We managed to get not 1, not 2, but sort of 2.5 kind of ingredients for our rainbow, because we got the roasted eggplant, the red honey, and we went ahead and saved ourselves a cosmos flower that we can use on our yarn later on. I'm going to go ahead and put the matches away now. Another thing I want to point out though is that with the dyeing pot, you don't have to use flowers. You can also use herbs. So I could use a green herb to dye something green, or instead of the cosmos flower, if I wanted to, alternatively I could use the red herb instead to dye the yarn red. So it's completely up to you what you want to do. I've also gone ahead and I've started stockpiling some gifts and some other sort of story items that I'm going to be using further on down the line in my fridge. My fridge is getting kind of full at this point. It's just a little tiny refrigerator. I've only got a couple more spaces, but hopefully once we make another rainbow, we'll be able to clear up a little bit of space. So looking at the calendar, right now it's Sunday, and so I think what I'll probably do is I'll just play through a couple more days, and then I'll meet you guys back here and we will check out the arts festival. And then from then, a couple of more days, the following Sunday, we should have a new villager move in as well, so fall's a little bit slower than what it has been in spring and summer, but bear with me guys, we are going to be making some more progress very, very soon. We just have to sort of pass some time and wait for all of our exciting events to happen, so I hope you guys will join me next time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you then.